And we are live on the Falcons Podcast. It is Monday night, just seconds after the game has ended with the Falcons getting their win. And one of my good friends and mentors of sorts, and we've worked together for a long time, Chad Jensen from the Mile High Huddle Podcast, coming in. He says, Bijan is my spirit animal. Bijan's something special. He is something special. It's been a lot of fun to watch. Thank you for checking in, Chad. I know you enjoyed watching that game. We all kind of root for each other on this and have a good time doing it. So thank you for the super chat. I'm looking forward to people. So coming in. So if you saw this on Twitter, hit a retweet. If you saw it if you're seeing this on YouTube, hit like, because I don't normally do these, and I might do more of them if this turns out to be something kind of big. And it's Monday night. We didn't do Monday this morning. I actually drove to Athens, college visit for my son, and it's like, you know what? Let's do it right after the game with a 7:15 start. I might actually be able to stay up till 10:30 at night and not be in bed too early. So, going to do a gut reaction on this. Let me bring in the other groups. I want to bring in the X group, and I want to bring in Atlanta Falcons on SI, and then we will officially get started here. Welcome in, everybody. This is the Falcons Podcast, just moments after the Atlanta Falcons pulled off what I put in the title, a statement win against the Buffalo Bills. Now, you might not realize that if you were watching this and didn't know much about the Atlanta Falcons, and all you heard was about the poor, banged up, woe is me Buffalo Bills and their defense and this boo-hoo. You know, I'm not saying this to Bills fans, but the Falcons were just as beat up, for God's sakes. They got third-string offensive tackles. They got one wide receiver, tackles. They got one wide receiver out there. You know, it's the NFL. It's a mash units out there. And the Falcons went out there and put a statement win on the board. And if it weren't for some bad luck, the Falcons would have blown their asses out tonight. So it was 21-7. We can get into a whole bunch of things. Takeaways, everything. I'm going to say hello, and when all y'all, I'm going to say hello to all y'all tonight. Some of the things that caught my attention early. The Falcons are up 21-7. We can break down some things, and we'll do more of that a little more closely with a little less emotion on Wednesday morning. But the Falcons are up 21-7. They're on the 33-yard line, and they go for it on 4th and 3. What did that tell me right away? It tells me the Atlanta Falcons still do not trust the kicking game. They do not trust it. What happened with a 37-yard field goal later on? It got blocked. Let me see here if this is Nick. Nick, I am live. Would you like to join the podcast tonight? Oh, okay, I will send you a link and you can join us. Okay, bye-bye. The only reason I kept my phone, Nick said he wasn't going to be able to. And then as the game got going along, he's like, you know what? That might be kind of fun. So let me get invite guests. Let me invite Nick in here. I should have just sent him this just in case. Let me get Nick in here also. Pardon me, everybody. This is just a little out of order for what we typically do. So if we're not on our P's and Q's entirely, we apologize. But Nick is going to join us. But they didn't trust the kicking game. They got into some bad luck at the first half. Now, if that was the end of the game, I'm yelling. I mean, yelling until my eyeballs pop and I start getting blood vessels pop. My shiny forehead becomes red and I get a vein that comes down the middle. Drake, get down, get down, get down. I like him going for that play in the first half. I'm not going to fault him for that. I like the mentality. I like the moxie. I like his ballsiness. I like everything. I am not going to get on it. Did it cost the team 3 points? Maybe. You can't make a field goal. What hampered my enthusiasm probably more than anything was seeing Jake Matthews go off into the locker room and him not being able to come back. The last time we saw this happen was to Drew Dalman. And to get an offensive lineman to come out with an ankle injury, it's got to be painful. At that time, I said it's going to be a 4 to 6 week injury with an ankle sprain or a broken ankle. And it ended up being 8 weeks on Dalman. Hopefully, the Iron Man himself, Jake Matthews, he got rolled up in that whole pile that cost them a linebacker too. He will be able to come back. Nick Kendall, welcome in. Thanks for the phone call. Glad you're making it. I know you enjoyed watching that game too. And I did a preview show with the Buffalo Bills the other night, and I think the only thing I missed on was the score. Was who was going to win the game, because you're just never sure. I wasn't sure. You're never sure with the Falcons, but they were fully capable of winning this game. And we saw the best version of the Atlanta Falcons in the first half before injuries and some bad luck made this what was going to be a freaking blowout, Nick, into a close game. And they had the moxie. The Falcons do not overcome obstacles. That's not in their DNA. They did tonight. Nick, they did tonight. Statement for the Atlanta Falcons and Raheem Morris. Congratulations.
Yeah, and a statement for the Falcons defense. I mean, I know that, Bijan had an incredible game, but what I come away, the Bills came into this game with the #1 EPA per play offense in the entire NFL so far this season. And they were, and arguably one of the top 5 offensive lines in football. And they harassed Josh Allen in this game. And it wasn't really any one player. It was waves, and it was scheme as well. I was texting you. I mean, Bijan, obviously, MVP, like, he's unbelievable. He's my favorite player, probably my favorite player to watch in the NFL on the offensive side of the ball. But Ulbrich, you keep this up with the turnaround the Falcons have had, he has a chance to win assistant coach of the year. I mean, what a total culture change that's happened there. They are flying around. There's different guys stepping up, and it's helping the coverage on the back end as well. And also welcome back AJ Terrell. But I come in here, Bijan incredible. Like, you cannot talk about this without Bijan. But the defense, and specifically that pass rush up front, just absolutely harassing Josh Allen in this game. It was, I mean, what a turnaround for this team compared to what we've had to cover these last few years and what Falcons fans have had to watch for the last 20 years.
Yeah, and it's you remember me saying, and I said it to the group, we got a lot of people coming in. Welcome in, y'all. Appreciate you being here. If you're not a member of the Falcons podcast, you can click it in the description and become a member. Help us do more stuff. It's a great way. Mad Scientist, one of our great community members, he says Ulbrich for coach of the year so far. Yeah, it really wouldn't be. It couldn't be. The only other place I might look is like who's making the biggest difference up in Indianapolis. But Shane Steichen is he can't win it as with him and Daniel Jones. So, Ulbrich, a bottom 3 unit to a top 3 unit right now. And the Bills finished with 290 yards. And I looked it up because I'm like, they're about to get some garbage yards on this last drive. They still finished with 290. They were at 237. The Falcons held them to 237 right before they went up 2 scores, and they got a garbage 60 as the Falcons are in a legit prevent. That's what the prevent is supposed to be. It's not supposed to be a base defense. A lot of fun. So many talking points. I want to know what y'all want to hit, because my ADD will kick in and I'll be all over the place tonight. I'm so excited. So Titus with a super chat. Thank you so much. So can we say the defense is for real now? Yes. Will they'll still be #1 or close to it. I think they'll still be #1 in yards coming after there, because they were #1, believe it or not, even after the Broncos put up a -10 yesterday. They were still ahead of the Broncos in passing yards per game by some distance, by like 30 or 40 yards. So they'll hold on to that, because a lot of those extra yards were rushing, were Josh Allen. But yes, this team is, the defense is for real. Will they finish #1? I don't know. But I promise y'all at the beginning of the year, I saw it in the preseason. Attack. Not preseason, but training camp. Attack. This defense has a new mentality. It's refreshing, and the players love it. People don't play football. They haven't made it to this level. They don't get into the game. They don't excel. They don't become professionals to backpedal, except corners. That's it. They want to attack. And Jeff Ulbrich is turning them loose, and they've got depth, Nick, up front, where they can bring those pass rushers you mentioned in waves.
Yeah, I mean, everybody in the game got in on it as far as taking Josh Allen, and it does take waves to take down Josh Allen. He is one of the 3 to 5 toughest players to sack in the NFL. You have Zach Harrison getting on it, Onyemata having a game, Roberts, Pierce, Walker, Ebiketie. I mean, I'm sure I'm forgetting, obviously Ellis and Diablo as well being weaponized from the next level. And I felt like a lot of it, I mean, this is talent up front too, but there was a lot of great timed, schemed rushes as well, where guys had free runs. You're slanting your defensive line one way. Here comes Ellis out the other side. So again, I mean, to give up 14 to the Bills, who came into this game as the number one EPA offense, they're now they're either 2 or 3 with the Cowboys and the Packers being number 1. But again, 6 games, small sample, so those can still fluctuate. But yeah, this defense it's unbelievable. The turnaround they've had this season. Again, we don't like to be too high or too low, but this is enough of a sample now where I'm like, okay, are they going to finish number 1? Like you said, I don't know.
Yeah.
Top 12, like top 10, like that feels like a floor at this point.
Yeah. Something would have to go wrong to finish 12. Is this a top 10 unit? Yeah, probably. Yep. Probably right now. We'll see. Again, it's certainly improved. I was just hoping to go from god awful to just okay. Well, this is a defense that can win you games. This is a defense that can win you games now. Michael Penix didn't play great tonight. He didn't play great. He missed some open throws. Looks like his right arm was bothering him a little bit, but he didn't play great tonight. They can do better. Forced a couple throws, got lucky on a couple of throws. Bijan Robinson played out of his mind. Tyler Allgeier had a good game. Drake London had a good game. Eli Wilkinson had a good game. I know he got beat early around the edge and he had a penalty, but I was watching him on a couple of those runs. Eli Wilkinson's 30 yards downfield. Yeah. Right before Bijan Robinson's big run, I had a moment because Bergeron grabbed the back of his leg. And I was like, oh no, they're not saying anything and they haven't panned wide. Very next play, gone. So what makes me nervous is Jake Matthews. I don't want to go 6 games, 8 games with third string offensive tackles, Nick. I just don't. I do not. Sammy, great to see you. He says, who is Sam Roberts? I'll tell you what, I had to look him up myself. I forgot that he was on the team until they elevated him. He got a start in New England in 23. He played 3 games with the Carolina Panthers last year. He is a former 6th-round pick out of Northwest Missouri State, that football powerhouse. Sam Roberts in there making plays too. When they're allowed to attack, Nick, it makes a difference. It's contagious.
Yeah, I mean, and welcome back, AJ Terrell. Like we said, having a phenomenal game against Keon.
He had his best game in a bird uniform.
Yep, D. Alford as well.
Forgetting on the backside. D.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, it was an incredible game, and I don't mind too much. The game for Michael Penix. Hopefully, he's okay as well. They're talking about on the broadcast his right arm, but he protected the football in this one. And when you go up 21 to 7, whatever it was, as quickly as they were, you're in driver's seat. Mm-hmm. Don't do anything stupid. And there were a few close calls. Maybe the alternate universe, one of those is going back the other way, and it's a different game. But it didn't bounce that way.
And again, if you've got a kicker you trust. On 4th and 3 from the 32, you kick a field goal and go up 24-7.
Yep.
But that's still a deficiency with this team right now. And it's, a kicking game that they trust. And I'm not blaming just the kicker. Kicking game overall, but yeah, that kick probably wouldn't have been blocked if you'd kicked it normally. That's still a deficiency with this team. It's still you should go 33-yard field goal shouldn't even be a question. And we're like, I think he's going to make it to finish this game. But Falcons fans, we know, you're never sure until, they're walking out on the field. What's going to happen? Dwan Freeman, I love this. Not just the super chat. Love that too, obviously. But what you have to say to go with it is awesome. The boys turn the Benz into a Maybach. Nick's not much of a car guy. He might not get that reference. But he says, rise up. So, the ultra luxury German Mercedes-Benz is a Maybach. Okay. So it's way, way out of our price ranges. So, like $300,000, $400,000.
Jesus Christ.
But it's still, I don't remember what's Benz, their parent company. I don't even remember, but turn it into a Maybach. That's sweet, Dwan. I think that's pretty awesome. I mean, coming out, I can go through some of my notes here. Just at the beginning of the game, they came out on fire. running the ball, play action, lots of it. We saw the same play get snuffed out because the Buffalo Bills scouted on the goal line. They ran a play action backside pass to Kyle Pitts for a touchdown against the Panthers last week. That got snuffed out. But then the Falcons went down and scored pretty quickly. The Bills came right back. Boom! Uh-oh. And then the Falcons come out with 3 straight passes. No, don't just start throwing the ball around. What are you doing? 3 straight passes, 3 and out. But the defense stepped up and got a stop. Game on. It was those are the kind of things the Falcons have not been able to do. They do not handle adversity. They faced a ton of adversity in this game, Nick. And they got a couple lucky bounces too. How about the very first play where Bijan spikes the ball on the first play and it gets called back for an offsides? That doesn't happen to the Atlanta Falcons in this universe. So, what a fun game, everybody. I hope y'all enjoyed it.
Yeah, and I think this, obviously the divisional games matter more, but to me, this kind of absolves the WTF matchup that was at Carolina. Again, 0-2 in the division so far is not what you want to see, but being 3-2, but you got a long season left.
They were 4-0 in the division last year, and it didn't mean squat.
Yeah. I mean, you never know. Every year is different, but I think this win does rectify that and make you feel a little better, and definitely one of the best wins of this Falcons team in a long time. We can point all day like, oh, maybe the Bills are overrated because who they beaten, like the Dolphins, the Ravens, but you play who is in front of you, and the Bills have been a good team for a long time. So you guys should feel
not
good.
Overrated. If I'm doing my power rankings right now, 1 through 32, and I have a top 5 based on, you're a number 5 team. It's like college football right now. Mm-hmm. The teams in the top 5, those aren't top 5 teams of yesteryear.
Ohio State maybe
the other teams.
Their defense is unbelievable, but I'm just.
But you know what I mean. As far as it's Buffalo, Philly. They've dropped 2 straight. Just lost to the Giants. Kansas City, not necessarily. It's as you've said before. It's a week-to-week league. Mm-hmm. JM Huddle. He says, "What should we call our tush push? The Franks tank, maybe." I was so afraid because it's just, again, you've got such negative reactions when they throw the flag. I'm like, they're going to call him for bobbing his head, aren't they? They're going to call him for bobbing his head. I know it. I know that's what they're going to call it. No, offsides. Yes. Mm-hmm. The breaks. I'm not used to the breaks going the way of the Atlanta Falcons, Nick. It's kind of nice.
Yeah. I mean, you flip a coin so many times and eventually it's going to come up heads, right? So it's a good day for the Falcons coming out 3-2 off the bye. Monday night as well. I mean, it would have been fun to come out of this and have it be the Michael Penix show, after what Drake May has done here recently. You got Jaden Daniels and Caleb Williams playing right now. I don't even know what's going on in that game. I think it was 16-10 last I saw. But at the end of the day, it's about winning football games. And for somebody like you and I, Scott, I'll speak for you here, seeing the offensive line in the run game. I mean, we've been screaming for years now, like, why are you being cute? You have Bijan Robinson and Tyler Allgeier, like, lean into it. It should be real. I mean, you can be clever with some of the design, which they were. That one where Tyler Allgeier almost scored that touchdown at the end, beautiful design. I think some of the designs in this one were great. Now, Robinson can make you right when you're wrong, which is nice to have. But
that's why you draft him number 8.
Oh, God. Yeah, the offensive line played great. Finally.
That's not just getting lucky. I mean, you used a top 10 pick on that guy. I mean, that's kind of what you were trying for. Yeah, but you hit. You don't always hit in those situations.
No, not at all. But I mean, I don't remember who it was. I think the name's Kyle Clark. He was on the Mina Kimes show, and he talked about talking with some Eagles executive, how in football, the lines of scrimmage, if you win there, you're going to win the game. If you tie there, that's when everything else on the perimeter becomes the tiebreaker. And I felt like the Bills, with what their offensive line has been, their defensive line was one of the highest pressure rate units in football this season. I thought the Falcons won on the lines of scrimmage on both sides of this one. So shout out to them. I mean, everybody should take a bow for this one. And I bet you they're just having an absolute blast in the locker room right now. And they deserve
Denver
it.
Luke, appreciate your support. He says this helps the Broncos and the AFC. Thank you, Falcons. Hey, happy to help. Mm-hmm. Shouldn't have to see the Broncos again unless it's a Super Bowl. So we can root for, now you need to beat the Buccaneers if you play them again. Damn, Tampa's good. They know how to win right now. They're winning the games that Tampa Bay, the Carolina Panthers, the New Orleans Saints, the Atlanta Falcons aren't used to winning. And that was a game tonight that the Atlanta Falcons won. They dominated the game, but had some stuff go against them that typically is, oh, woe is me, Falcons fans, ends up costing the game, and it didn't. They were resilient. They had a chance. So this team showed some mettle, M-E-T-T-L-E, some mettle, some mental toughness on there, which I like about as much as anything out there. Greg Elrod, appreciate the support with the super chat. He says, lots of fun. The win was gravy. Thanks for coming on postgame. And I'm glad to be here. I'm not going to get up early and do one. I was like, you know what? Everybody's going to be up after this game. It's going to be fairly early. This game's not ending at midnight the way some Monday night games do. Let's do a post game and then maybe just sleep in. Kids are on fall break. Maybe I'll sleep in till 7 and not hop up and we'll do something. But we'll be here Wednesday. We'll be here Wednesday morning. I'm running all over the Southeast to a bunch of colleges this weekend. I'm going to Bama, heading over to Tuscaloosa tomorrow, down to Auburn on Wednesday. But we'll podcast on Wednesday before we do that. And appreciate you being here for sure. Praise Maker, that feels like a newer name. He says, Pats fan. Well, that makes sense. Pats fan coming in. He says, I know these teams have a history because of the Falcons win tonight. The Pats are number 1 in the AFC. All up from here. Great game. Is that for real? No, I think it's in the AFC East because the Colts are 5-1.
Yeah, the Colts are number 1 in the AFC.
The Colts are 5-1 in the AFC. Let's be honest. Didn't we all have the Patriots being in first place in the AFC East right now? No. Happy to help. Pats fans, you know, you've got one on us. I kind of try to forget that. But that was on us as much as it was on you. But you're welcome. Happy to help the Pats. There is actually a little, and I was on a Bills podcast. I said, Falcons fans, a lot of Falcons fans are Braves fans also, and we feel kind of a kindred spirit with Bills fans because we lost so many damn playoff series that we get it. But, you know, again, I like the Bills. I like Sean McDermott. I like Josh Allen. I like Buffalo. But this game was about the Falcons, and the Bills are a good team. Even if they were banged up, the Bills are a good team. They're a very dangerous team coming off a loss. And they came out playing hard, and the Falcons took their best shots and gave it back to them. I mean, some of the stats at halftime, Nick, were mind-boggling. It was 21-7, and at the very least, it should have been 24-7. Could have been 28-7. 5 for 8 on third down versus 2 for 6. Yards rushing, 168-48. Passing yards, 167-83 for a total of 335-131. So they outscored them 3-1. They outgained them 3-1. Pats were lucky. I mean, I'm sorry. I've got a price maker on my mind. The Bills were lucky to be in this game. And then they came out and scored quick. They came right down, just like the first half, their first drive. They came out and scored quick. The Falcons adjusted. Jeff Ulbrich adjusted, went a little bigger, and sent pressure. Let's disrupt the backfield. And this is a defense capable of winning games, Nick.
I mean, I can't get over how the defense played in this one. What a turnaround. I know I'm repeating myself, but I didn't expect this, Scott. I mean, I'm typically very much, you know, personnel over coaching, but it's pretty mind-boggling to think about how bad Lake was with this team last season and what Ulbrich's doing.
Nick, you
guys here, no doubt, in the front seven, but players who have been here, just completely different out there. I mean, Zach Harrison, what he's done, seeing how they're totally weaponizing Ellis. Hopefully they can get a contract there soon. I'll be banging that drum with what the linebacker market's doing. That C on the jersey, number 55, looks pretty good. But really just like pinning their ears back, aggressive, and the man coverage on the back end as well. I mean, that takes some fortitude to do that against Josh Allen, because if he breaks, now granted, to be fair, the Bills do not have perimeter weaponry right now. You know, don't have Dalton Kincaid in this one. They don't have a ball winner, or not a ball winner necessarily, but a route winner.
We said that coming in, you know,
Yep.
And they were still whipping people and putting up huge numbers on offense. Because some of the things that Josh Allen was able to do, but he was put under duress
today.
And some of those miracle throws were just off.
Yep.
because he was put under duress. So,
Yeah.
But yeah, they lack weapons as far as overall. And speaking of lacking weapons, I think the Falcons will be in the market for another wide receiver. Ray McLeod was a healthy scratch. And Darnell Mooney, his contract, you can get out of his contract next year. It was a 3-year deal, 2 years of guaranteed money. This is a second-year deal. If he can't get healthy, you're not going to pick up that third-year option. You're going to move on from him. The Falcons are going to be in the market for offensive tackles, wide receivers, cornerbacks. You can't have enough cornerbacks. That's not saying, like I said, D. Alford played great. Mike Hughes played good. A.J. Terrell played good. I don't think it's enough. I think you need, and Billy Bowman was out, that I think they will still be in the market for another cornerback too. But right now, offensive tackle, for God's sakes, and wide receiver might be your two biggest needs.
Yep. Unfortunately, those are round one positions, but feeling pretty good about how James Pierce and Walker are looking out there. So now
I asked the X crowd on here, can you split sacks into thirds? Because they had a triangle sandwich with Josh Allen. I think it was D. It was James Pierce got there first. He didn't get the credit for it from the announcing, because I should have turned it over to the local broadcast. Maybe they wouldn't have been waxing poetic about how gutsy the Bills were, how beat up they were, for God's sakes, while Eli Wilkinson's chasing guys 30 yards downfield. And, Garrett, the left tackle, number 72, who they traded a pick swap for right before the roster cuts, comes in and plays his first snaps and does admirably. He did admirably out there. Good for him. Curtis, good to see you, and thank you for being a member, Curtis. Can we make Ulbrich the head coach, please? I don't want to lose his skills. Hey, listen, we're going to get on Raheem Morris for some of the bad things he's done. Some of the good things he's done is he brought in Zach Robinson. I still think Zach Robinson, is he perfect? No. Is he an ascending talent in this game, in this league? I still think he is. He brought Jeff Ulbrich back. There was a personal relationship with the Blanks, with Raheem Morris, with Jeff Ulbrich that comes back. And he's got a team that we don't know what happened against the Panthers. But since that game, they have come out and played their asses off. That's Raheem Morris. I mean, that's if he's going to get blamed when they show up like they did against Carolina, then you got to give him credit for how they've shown up the last 2 weeks, right? And I know you're not saying, hey, fire Raheem, Curtis, especially after a win like this, but let's give Mr. Positivity some credit. If we're gonna give him some blame, let's give him some credit too, Nick.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, the one thing you do have going for you there on that front is that a lot of times defensive coaches have to do it 2 times as long as offensive coaches. Offensive coaches, everybody wants to pair that young, exciting offensive coach with a young quarterback at the top of the draft. There's a lot more stability long-term. At least that's the current thinking. A lot of stability long-term doing that. So Ulbrich would have to be great for years and years, probably, before we see that, especially because he's not this, young hotshot coming out of nowhere. He's been in the league for a bit. I think you're probably safe. It's what we call good problems. Like long term, it would stink like if he was so good that you lost him, but like you're talking about probably 2 years of top 5 defenses if he's been getting poached to be a head coach. Yeah.
Yeah, and then let's see, then you've got a reputation and you can go cherry pick the best defensive minds in the game. Once you build that culture, once you build that reputation, then those guys want to come to you. Mitch Angeloni, thanks for the super chat, my friend. He's a statement game, was a breath of fresh air, rise up. Yeah, it's just, I love the 7:00 time slot. It was so much better. It's like, as I get back, I'm like, oh, I don't have to wait until, 8:30 for the game to come on and stuff. I liked it. Of course, I also love living out in California for 4:00 games. I'm up early. I don't mind getting up and watching NFL in London at 6:30 in the morning. So it was definitely a statement game. This was Monday Night Football. This was a packed Benz. This was your national announcers, who also Orlovsky writes and does a lot of talking all week. He's one of the bigger voices leading up to games. He will be singing the praises of the Atlanta Falcons, of Bijan Robinson, and what they were able to do. and you're going to start hearing Bijan Robinson for MVP. Some of his talks. I guarantee you there will be some articles come out. He was on pace for the second most scrimmage yards in NFL history. He's blown through that now. If I do the math, he's probably the record's like 2,502. He's probably on pace for 2,650 right now. Now that's going to slow down, obviously, but isn't it nice having Tyler also? Nick, isn't it nice going, oh, Bijan looks a little gassed. Oh, we'll just bring in this 225-pound Brahma bull and good luck tackling him.
Yeah, the head scratching in some of the game plans earlier, not getting him involved because he is it's such a cliche word, but he's a tone setter. I mean, you do not want to tackle him. He brings a energy to the game, and I can't believe we haven't done so yet, Scott. I know it wasn't the best game for Michael Penix overall, but my God, Drake London. I don't know if we've even mentioned his name yet, but that first half was insane. The efficiency drops a bit, 10 receptions for 16 yards, but 10 receptions, 158 yards and a touchdown. I mean, unbelievable. I wish he'd have kept his foot in bounds. I was going for 170 in my fantasy league, going on that one in my 12-team league because I got Drake London.
Shave his cleat down. In grass, if he's on grass, that probably stays a touchdown because you don't see any like rubber pellets come up or anything.
Yeah, but I mean, Drake London, heck of a game as well. Not the best game from Kyle Pitts, that stumble on the screen to him. But I mean, when you have Robinson doing what he was doing and London doing what was he doing, it's kind of like when you have like a big three in basketball. Not every single game has to be Chris Bosh or LeBron James. Tonight's the Dwayne Wade game. So obviously I think Pitts is probably the Bosh of the trio of those offensive weapons. Bosh was a useful player. Don't get me wrong. I'm not really a basketball guy, but I did kind of pay attention some during those days. But yeah, I have to give a shout out to Drake London as well. 16 targets is insane as well because nobody else even came close. I mean, the wide receiver split
a couple times too, Nick. He threw him into some traffic a few times too.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, they're going to need another wide receiver. They've got Tyler if you need to spell Bijan, but what Kyle did do, and I watched him on the very first drive. I've made fun of the whole 12 personnel thing, and they were actually like in 20 personnel. I think it was, old school, 2 tight ends, 1 wide receiver, and 2 running backs. And he was in there blocking, and he was blocking a lot better than we've seen him block when he's on the inside, lined up as an actual tight end. So he was in there. Kyle Pitts did a job today, which is some of the biggest criticisms of Kyle Pitts has been effort and attitude. Well, he put in a shift, is how we like to say it in international football and soccer. He put in a shift tonight. The numbers weren't necessarily there, but he did the work. Matt coming in, doing the work. Thank you for the support. He says, our defense is nasty. Huge win. I'm so happy. And he's doubling up. He's become a new member. We got a lot of people watching. Y'all can become members too. We'd like to invite you to come in. We do some members only videos, that type of stuff. And then shout outs. Tonight's one of our busiest nights that we've ever had. So I can't get to all the members tonight, but we'll make it up to you. I promise. And we do some giveaways too. Dirty Bird Star, he's joined the nest, so to speak, as well. He's become a member of the Falcons podcast. Wanted to also, there's so many people that played well. Charlie Warner's in the game, and we talk about Charlie Warner is almost the key to this team. If Charlie Warner's playing, the Falcons win. 50% or more snaps, and I haven't looked it up yet, or if it's even been posted yet. If he's played under 50%, I know they're 0-2. I saw him out there at fullback an awful lot tonight. Just off to the side, either to the left or the right of Michael Penix, basically as a personal protector. And we talked about, Nick, how can I help my tackles? Do you trust Caleb McGarry on the blind side? No. I don't trust Eli Wilkinson or Garrett either, but I can help them. And Charlie Warner is that guy.
Yeah. He's a useful insert piece in the run game, no doubt. And if you are going to have only, 16 targets go to Drake London and your next highest wide receiver get 2 in Casey Washington, you might as well play a little bit heavier personnel and protect those tackles. Right now, we talked about it. Your de facto wide receiver 2 and 3 is Bijan and Pitts. So get a little bit heavier out there, force teams to play linebackers. A lot of times that's problematic. not that many good linebackers out there in the league. So hopefully they'll continue to do it. And I know we've been kind of hot cold on Zach Robinson. I thought this was a pretty good game from him. Some of the game calls were head scratching. There's a pass there at the end. Why are you passing it right now? Especially with your backup tackles, run the clock. You have the running backs killing it. But I thought some of the run designs were good. The execution. This is a Bills team. They're going to play a lot of shells, and I thought that they attacked it pretty well. I would have liked to have seen better counter after the Bills countered coming out of the first half. But again, you lose your tackle and you're down to 2 backup tackles. Game plan kind of out the window. So they survived.
And that's where the defense stood up. It was 21-14. The Falcons didn't get the ball, and they didn't advance, didn't score, didn't do anything. And now you're sitting there going, uh-oh. Then the Bills got the ball back, and I think the Falcons held them on a 4th down, maybe on that drive. And I was like, okay, now we've reset. The momentum, it's like you can't measure it, but God, you can feel it. You should almost be one of the versions of Madden had a momentum meter, or NCAA football, one of the EA Sports football games had it was an actual calculation on there, and you can feel it. It's like, okay, as soon as they made that second stop to keep the Bills from going down and scoring their second drive in the second half, you're like, okay, we're back on a level playing field again. And you could totally feel it. It was such a huge stop by that defense. Pricemaker coming in. He's got 2 here, and I got something I want to show you too. He says, Pricemaker says the Pats are number 1 in the AFC East. My bad. That's okay. We figured it out. We watch enough other teams to kind of get what you were trying to say. He said, the Falcons' number 1 team to beat is Baker and them Bucks. Yeah, don't we know it? And Pacemaker, we watched Baker. He rushed the ball 5 times against the Atlanta Falcons. He had 5 first downs. Baker Mayfield was the difference. There were a lot of other things that were going on, but Baker Mayfield was the difference in that game. Best of luck. I will bro a Falcons jersey after tonight. It's just week 6. Not yet, but he says, where's the Tyler Allgeier love? Well, you've come to the right place. Mm-hmm. You're not going to find a podcast that gives Tyler Allgeier more love than we do. This is what I posted earlier in tonight, right after he scored. I said, Tyler Allgeier will make $4 million on his 4-year rookie contract, which ends this year. He'll triple that next season in what he'll make. And one of the there's people that just are contrarian for everything. And I think his name's Scott Karasik. He's not always like that, but he's like, oh, running backs like this will get 5 to 6 and the Falcons should re-sign him. I was like, well, that's not quite what I said. I said, he'll triple that next year. I bet he puts $12 million in his bank account next year. I didn't necessarily say $12 million a year, but I bet he puts $12 million in his bank account in the next 12 months. And I love him for it. And Pricemaker, we've said a zillion times, the best thing that happened to him was Bijan Robinson. As a 5th round pick, the best thing that happened to him was Bijan and still being able to showcase what he can do because he's got tread on the tire. If it weren't for Bijan, they would have used him up and spit him out, and he would have been crippled after 1,500 carries in 4 seasons. He'd had $4 million, but that's not the life of a professional football player that you can really live on for the next 50, 60 years of your life. He'll get that in his next contract, and we're here for it. No one will be happier for Tyler Allgeier than us, except immediate family.
Yeah, no, he's been a great player for them. We talked about it on the show. I see Dacey, you're talking about it. Allgeier being the Michael Turner to LaDainian Tomlinson. He's going to go somewhere, and with his running style, who knows? But he's been able to keep healthy and keep his legs under him. We'll knock on wood for that one. Hopefully that continues. And he's going to get a quality second running back contract out there. And it's unfortunate because the money coming down. I can't imagine the Falcons, allocating that much resources to 2 running backs and Drake London coming up here, Caden Ellis. But man, what a great pick, 5th round pick, and heck of a back from BYU. So big fan of him coming out of BYU, and he really does help protect Bijan and allows Bijan to be a little bit more of a offensive weapon. Like, he doesn't have to take the battering ram carries. So it's great to have Allgeier.
Terry, you brought this back up because I try not to interrupt Nick as much as I do. So I actually do try. But when he was talking about I'm a Jimmy's and Joe's guy, not an X's and O's guy on defense, but what a difference that Ulbrich has made over Lake. It's a combination. And as Terry says, we brought in some players on the defensive side of the ball. But the performance tonight is just night and day, Ulbrich versus Lake. Falcons will rush your ass on third downs with 5-6-man rushes on that. But just going through those, if I look at stars, whoever you put at starter at edge other than Arnold Bichetti is new. So it's James Pierce, it's Jalen Walker, it's Leonard Floyd. Those are new. Onyemata is the only one on the front that is a starter from last year. You've got Caden Ellis. He returns, but Diablo's new. And I guess then you've got 3 of your 4 returning on the backside, but your nickel is new with Billy Bowman and your other safety is new. And those are rookies. So they're new players. So there have been personnel changes. But to your point, hell, they're all young too. So be able to coach them up. And I think a lot of it has to do, Nick, is don't think too much, boys. Attack. Just get after it. If you're going to make a mistake, make it full freaking speed. Don't backpedal and think and look around. Attack. Find ball, attack ball. If you get beat because you're over-aggressive, so be it. Learn from it. God, it's fun to watch. What was a question that we got asked a bunch? What are you most looking forward to this season? The defense. I said defense. It's beyond my wildest dreams, man. It's so much fun to watch. Yes, they're going to give up a big play here and there. They're going to make some big plays.
Yeah. And this was a game that I was really worried about with the Falcons defense coming in just because of how big, strong, and cohesive this Bills offensive line is. Now, Dalton Kincaid wasn't in there, so they couldn't do all their 12 personnel stuff they like to do in attacking the linebackers over the middle of the field. But still, this is a team that for the most part, the last 2 seasons, for the Bills, they've just been able to line it up and run it down your throat. And we saw that somewhat today. Luckily, the offense got enough of a lead early on that they couldn't just, purely run the football. But I thought they did a good enough job to, not get run down. And that was the big concern this season. It's a lot of lighter bodies up front. But when you're rushing like they are, getting the negative plays like they are, you can survive it. So again, not giving up the explosives. And I thought the run defense answered their toughest task of the season about as well as you could possibly hope.
Yeah, they gave up 134 yards rushing, but when they needed to stop the run, I felt like they could. We've talked about that before. Yeah. They're not good enough to just line up a 3-4 and the 3 are going to collapse the pocket and close everybody down and hold people to 3. They have to commit bodies to stopping the run, but they've got them this year. And they've got some more speed behind the line of scrimmage to help when they do commit bodies. There's so much more I want to talk about on this that I lose my train of thought on it. So the best thing to do is just get back to people like Greg. Greg and his custom kicks. He says the effing audacity of defenders continuing to try on numerous failed attempts to tackle Bijan with one arm. I see it so much. Greg, they're not doing that on purpose. They're getting set up and they're getting knocked off balance. That is one of the you can't measure. I mean, we say it's a bigger, faster, stronger league, but there are nuances to what makes bigger, faster, and stronger better. Balance, vision, instincts. Those are things you cannot measure, but you can see it. Heart. Can't measure it, but I can see. I know when a player's got it. I can't measure it, but damn sure can tell when he's got it or doesn't. Bijan's got all of that. He's got balance, vision, instincts. And the instincts are how he sets guys up with subtle feints, changes directions, and now a guy's off balance. If you don't square up on Bijan, you're not going to tackle him. And I said it to the Bills guys, without hyperbole, he is the best one-on-one, make-you-miss open field runner I've seen since Barry Sanders. And Barry Sanders is the GOAT. Barry Sanders was silly. Bijan's the best one I've seen since him. Cadillac Williams in the college version of Caddy, I didn't watch him as much in the pros, and he's had a lot of wear and tear on him. Caddy was like that at Auburn. But Bijan's the best one I've seen at this level since Barry Sanders. He's not better than Barry. Barry's the GOAT. But Bijan that's been what? 1989? 30 years? 30-something years?
I'll put LT in the conversation there as well. Now I'd have been pretty young, but LT, as far as a pass catcher and a guy to make you look silly now and then. But I think that was the comparison coming out of Texas was LaDainian Tomlinson. So, heck of a back. You're getting what you paid for with that 8th overall pick.
No. The audacity of defensive backs trying to get in the way of Tyler Allgeier as he's going into the end zone. I'll give you that one. He flattened another dude. It was a little more subtle, but somebody came across him and he just kind of threw his shoulder and boom.
Yeah. I think Bijan right now, I don't know, MVP's pretty much a quarterback award. I mean, you had Jamar Chase win the Triple Crown for receiving last season, and
but he'll get talked. I mean, and he'll enter the conversation.
So MVP's a quarterback award essentially now, but Offensive Player of the Year, he's squarely in there. I don't know if he'd be the favorite. Right now, he'd probably be a co-favorite. Jackson Smith-Njigba is probably up there as well. He's been unbelievable this season for Seattle. Seattle's got a chance to be the best team in the NFC. I know they just lost
Nobody knows
Tampa,
Seattle even exists up there.
What was that?
Nobody even knows Seattle exists up there. Nobody even knows they play unless they come east of the Mississippi.
Their defense is legit. They're a pretty good team, especially with the 49ers reeling. And the other one is Jonathan Taylor right now. Yeah. I do think Bijan, if I had to pick one, I'd pick
for Offensive Player of the Year. They do separate NFC and AFC, don't they?
I do not recall.
I don't remember if they do, for sure either. Jonathan Taylor's pretty special too, for sure. Yeah. I mean, there's some great backs. Greg Custom Kicks, I hope you were doing well. Greg number 2, he's even got 2 Gs, three Gs technically. By the way, check the tape on Eli Wilkins, and he did not start early. Can't believe he's done so well. Another of those guys, Dwayne Ledford, the leap. I literally thought the Falcons were going to go 2-15 in 2022, and part of it had to do with most of it had to do with the line of scrimmage. A lot of it had to do with the line of scrimmage. There were problems everywhere. Terry Fontenot did a great job of filling the defensive side of the ball with able bodies that were making the league minimum. Dwayne Ledford turned the offensive line into a plus. Arthur Smith's hire of Dwayne Ledford was one of the best things that happened to the Atlanta Falcons over the last 5 years. That Jarrett came in and played okay. That Drew Dahlman can come in as a fourth round pick and get a max contract for the most part, a huge contract in free agency. His replacement comes in, don't miss a beat. You really don't. For a guy that makes that kind of money, it was huge savings. Caleb McGarry became a revelation in 2022, 2023. Chris Lindstrom's arguably the best offensive lineman in football. And then you can't just plug and replace. You can't just swap out pieces like that on the offensive line without big problems happening. Nick, you saw it watching Denver. And the Falcons are on their 3rd choice offensive tackles on both sides and just beat the Buffalo Bills. Amazing work. Amazing.
Yeah. So, unfortunately, I do think Atlanta, based if the season ended today, we're just like a third of the way through. I do think they'd be on the outside looking in still. They've played a game less than most teams so far.
It's week 6, dude.
I know, but I'm just saying, where we're at, as far as the stacking of the league, what are the expectations now coming out of this game? I think that it's unfortunate that the Buccaneers are 5-1, but they're losing Egbuka for a bit. I feel like they finally won a game, Scott, that wasn't a 1-possession game, so that's good for them. You could see Baker Mayfield actually kneel the ball out, but I think you're right there in the NFC South. It is unfortunate that the Buccaneers have a bit of a lead. They've won some ones that are coin flip games that could go either way. But the NFL is wide open, but the NFC is wide open.
Coming out of this game, without Fred Warner, with Mac Jones at quarterback, you should have every right to believe you can go out to San Francisco and get a win.
Yeah,
you should beat the Miami Dolphins at home. The next week. And then you're at Patriots. We'll see how good the Patriots are over the next couple of weeks. And then you host the Colts and the Panthers. So how many games did I just say? 5?
5 games.
4-1's not out of the question in that bunch. If you play like you did tonight, injuries hopefully aren't. Get Jake back. Jake's big. Get Darnell back. Don't lose anybody else. And 4-1's not out of the question. And I'm not saying, well, who would you lose to in that bunch? No, I don't like to do that because you can be a favorite, a 5-point favorite in 5 straight games, and your odds of winning all 5 of those is still like 3%. So it's just look at it in blocks. I want to hit Rio. Rio coming in. He says, Atlanta, stand the F up. Big shout to the O-line. We just did. Sorry I didn't have you up here when we did that. Huge shout to the offensive line. Best game I've seen Bergeron play. Bergeron started slow, Rio, and he looks fine. We knew he was better than that. There may have been something bothering him that we didn't even know about. We know. We've seen it. He's better than that. First couple games, he didn't play well, and he would tell you he didn't play well. Mm-hmm. He's playing great now. And again, if we put the jersey and name on it, you couldn't tell me there's a soul that could pick out Newsel versus Dahlman. It's been a like for like swap and saving $10 million.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Nick.
Just looking at the game as we wrap up here. I do need to get going here pretty soon for the wrap up. I have heard the kid wake up a few times. Dog busted the door open, so probably a little louder than I should be. But I mean, the Falcons 10-point win. You should have probably won by more than that, all things considered. And looking at it, the only areas of concern, and you're never gonna win every single statistical category in the game, but like you won third down efficiency in this game, total plays, total yards per play, obviously the passing yards, the rushing yards, all of that, turnovers, biggest one there. Don't have explosives in front of me. I wish ESPN and box scores would start to include the explosive plays in there in those breakdowns, but alas, the only area of concern is the red zone, and that's fine because we're going through it.
I disagree. It's not even my biggest area of concern.
Oh, I'll be curious besides the injuries. But for me, just looking at the stats, the Bills go 2 for 3 and the Falcons go 1 for 3 in the red zone. And that's an area where, different day, different circumstances, that can come back to bite you in the butt. And it's always good to have like one thing for the coaches to be like, good job, guys. Red zone. Let's get a little better there.
The kicking game scares me as much as anything right now.
Yeah, special teams. Yeah.
It's the special teams. It's knowing that you can't just automatically chalk 3 on the board once you cross the 35-yard line like every other team in the NFL can. That it changes. It changed the way Raheem Morris coached this game. Again, it's said to me, it's 4th and 3 from the 32-yard line when you're up 21-7 and just absolutely dominating possession. Kick a field goal. That, and I'm not saying he made the wrong choice. I'm saying that choice wasn't necessarily available to him because he didn't trust the kicking game. And rightfully so. That still scares me. Thank you, Rio. Gary Opalka, rise up, fellas. Love you guys. LFG. Let's go. And he doubled up by becoming a member. So that's awesome. Well, thank you for joining us. Be like Gary. Become a member. Get that little bird next to your name in the chat. If you need to go, Nick, go ahead. I will wrap us up here at any time. So if you want to go now, just give us your final thoughts on the statement win, the importance of this win against the Buffalo Bills, exercising the demons of the Carolina Panthers game from 3 weeks ago, and moving forward.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still just blown away by the defense. They came out, and after the Falcons failed to score points on their 2 possessions where they were like close to field goal range, and Drake London not scoring, not getting down, so they couldn't kick the field goal there at the end. And then the Bills get the ball and they march down the field for a touchdown, and it's 21-14. Tight sphincter moment around Atlanta, and for me as well, Bronco fan. But I was like, and the defense. I mean, after that, they didn't blink. They just continuously harassed Josh Allen, and the offense struggled in the second half, but they got the drive when they needed, and that on top of the built up goodwill, I guess we'll call it, from the first half was more than enough. So Falcons feeling good. Mark of a good team is doing it week by week, but you have proof of concept now. So hopefully you can build on that. Everybody get healthy and go play the team that's had more serious injuries than anybody in the league this season. Feels so bad. I mean, Fred Warner is one of my favorite players in the league, and there's nobody even close to him as far as like Caden Ellis is great, but Warner's like first ballot Hall of Famer, all decade team linebacker. So I mean, I don't even know what to expect from that 49ers team. Well coached, but man, crazy injuries. So keep stacking wins. It's exciting times in Atlanta. And who thought? I did not think we would be here after that unbelievably embarrassing game in Carolina. I didn't think they had this in them.
Yeah, it's it's if we're gonna blame Raheem Morris for the team coming out flat and some of those things, then we give him credit for the way they've played the last 2 weeks and the way they've rebounded on that. Absolutely. So Nick, get out of here. Michael Ronquillo has to answer the question for us. It's NFL MVP, an offensive rookie of the year, and then he does then there's an AFC and NFC offensive and defensive player of the year. So if Jonathan Taylor and Bijan Robinson could get that one. Got a couple more supers coming in, and we're going to wrap up here pretty quickly. I got a little more work to do. I'm going to try and sleep in a little bit tomorrow. Good luck with that. Y'all have seen every once in a while my giant cat around here likes to make an appearance. Well, he also likes to come and claw my face at about 5:45 every morning. Let me see, Matt. I think if we didn't show this, it's worth showing again. Bijan's the best running back in the NFL. He's certainly in the conversation. There's some great ones. That there really are some great ones, and the kids up in New York when they start doing well, remember when Breece Hall was a thing. Cam Scatabo is the flavor of the month right now. The big media markets, it might be a little bit tougher, but when Bijan's doing those things that he's doing, wow. NFC Offensive Player of the Month, and he's having a better month. He was the NFC Offensive Player of the Month in September, and he's having a better October. How about that? And Price is agreeing, and you've been huge tonight, brother. So, come back and see us. Great game tonight. See you in week 9 for the Drake May experience in New England. We were big fans of Drake May coming out. I would have taken him number 2 over Jaden Daniels. It doesn't make me right, but that's probably where I would have gone. I didn't even see who ended up winning the other game tonight as Caleb Williams. I'm not sure Chicago's the best place for a quarterback. And that has a lot to do with it too. But Drake is big and strong. He's young, and he's going to be a lot like trying to sack Josh Allen. That's for sure. Greg coming in again. He says for Saquon Barkley to speak on Bijan's cuts speaks loudly. I mean, these guys are fans of the game too, and they're different. Saquon is amazing, an amazing football player. So is Bijan. They both are for sure. I think that's about. I've caught up on most of this on all the supers. I hope I didn't miss y'all. Who I did miss the other day, I missed Mike, and I owe you one. So Wednesday, I'll when we see you on Wednesday, I'll give you another shout out, Mike, because I missed one. He texted me, he's like, "Hey, how come you didn't read that one? Was there something wrong?" I'm like, "Yeah, well, I missed it. That was what was wrong. I'm an idiot." Couple of things I want to hit. Just going through my notes real quick. I mentioned that. Stopping the Bills on their second drive was huge to keep the belief in there. I said we've got a lot of Charlie Warner at fullback. That 4th and 3 play, I already mentioned it a couple of times and how it showed me that Falcons didn't believe in the kicking game. They also targeted Casey Washington on that 4th and 3. I'm not sure that's where I'd want to go on that play. Missing the out route. Yeah, that was in the 2-minute drills, Michael Penix, he's missing on some of the out routes. Those should be his bread and butter ones. I also mentioned I don't care if it costs the Falcons 3 points. I like Drake's mentality at the end of the half. Man, go for it. You're there. You think you got a chance. Get it. I love his toughness. I love who he is. And he missed being 28-7 by the length of his cleat on there. And you could tell coming out that the Bills' manhood was challenged by Sean McDermott at halftime. They came out and they had a little bit different type of attitude on that. And Jeff Ulbrich should be shortlisted on Coordinator of the Year and should be one of the front runners as far as I'm concerned. I don't, off the top of my head, there's probably some other people out there that think they deserve it. Indianapolis is a surprise team this year, but the Falcons is the number 1 defense in the NFL after 6 weeks. Come on, man. That doesn't happen. That's a miracle. That is amazing work. That is Terry Fontenot hitting on his free agents, which he has done on the defensive side of the ball almost without fail, and investing 7 of 8 picks in the first 4 rounds the last 2 years onto the defensive side of the ball. And those guys are all contributing too. They're contributing too. I want to see if we got a couple people in here. I want to say hello to some of our members too. Terry, thanks for being a member. Appreciate you being here. He says, Chicago squeaked out the win over Washington. Okay. I'm not sure if Jaden was back. I came right here. I watched Falcons and I came right here. Falcons, baby. Good to see you. Mad Scientist, thanks for being here. 10 Cam. Good to see you as well. Become a member, brother. Need you. He says, you have to go for plays like that. Yeah, we were certainly Certainly happy with that. And Terry says, Terry Clark, Falcons finishing games with their defense on the field. When was the last time you had faith in that with the red and black? I don't know. Never. Never. And Maurice, yeah, the special teams are still struggling a little bit. They were better on coverage for sure. On punt and kick coverage, they were definitely much better on that. So that was better. It was better. Still not great. Still not great. Still not great. Let me see here. Like I said, Terry, thank you for being a member. 14-3 in the throwback since 09. Go to the damn red helmets. Who doesn't want the red helmets? We all want the red helmets. I swear, whenever I use a picture for guys on the front of my Falcons page, falconssi.com, I use the red helmets whenever I can. Terry's double dipping. He's a member and says, what a win. Can we beat the 49ers in 6 days? The 49ers are decimated by injuries. I mean, if you start thinking, who have you played? Okay, you get a week 1 rusty Baker Mayfield. Well, the Falcons have the number 1 defense. Week 1, you get a banged up, not a banged up, but a rusty week 1 Buccaneers. Okay, fine. Week 2, JJ McCarthy. He's only played 1 good quarter of NFL football in his career. Short career, but he hasn't looked very good so far. He's basically a rookie. Week 3, Bryce Young. Hell, they only had 220 yards, and Bryce Young, everybody was whipping out the parade and anointing him. Oh, he's back. Way too soon last year. Marcus Mariota, enough said. Well, you didn't have any of the weapons with Josh Allen and Conke. That's why you got the number 1 offense. And now you're going against the 49ers and Mac Jones. Yes, we are. Bury them too. I don't care who you're playing against. Hold them to 200 yards of offense. You should strangle them. That's what good defenses do. I don't care. Yes, the Falcons can go out to the 49ers and go out to San Francisco, play the 49ers and beat them out there. Yes, they can. Will they? We'll see. We all know what this team's capable of. I swear, whenever I start feeling like this, 2023 on the road against Tampa, and they lose like 4 straight games. Last year, 6-3 against Tampa. Was that at home? Or was it the Saints game that moved to 6-3? It just swept the Buccaneers early in the season. Feel like this and then fall flat on your faces. This feels like a turning point. Is it, or is it a false dawn? We'll find out. Rusty, what do you have to say, brother? I know he says, comes in with a super. He says, only the Falcons are capable of losing by 30 to Carolina, then spanking the Bills. This was the most complete game we've played in possibly 8 years. Oh, man, the first half, we all know. When's the last time you saw a first half that dominant by the Atlanta Falcons? I know my first thought, they didn't win that game in January of 2017. That's as good as they looked. They looked so good. And it just scares the bejesus out of me watching Jake Matthews walk down that tunnel. Hopefully that one is short term. Hopefully, in Dwayne Ledford we trust, but I like Jake Matthews over there. So hopefully that's what we need good. That we need Jake Matthews to get healthy. Eli to keep playing the way he's playing and not have any more injuries like that. I mentioned it before, despite the fact that the announcers were just talking how much the Buffalo Bills lost to injuries, the Falcons are just as banged up. They're just as banged up right now. 3rd string offensive tackles. Are you kidding me? Who does that? You got 1 healthy wide receiver. Shoot. Defense looks pretty good. You're missing one of your starting nickels, but the defense has avoided the big injury bug, knock on wood. And they've got depth. That's the other thing. They've got depth. But I've called Jake Matthews maybe the most him and Drake London, the most irreplaceable players on this team. He walked off under his own power. And if it's an ankle, hopefully just a couple of weeks at worst, hopefully. So we'll see. We'll see. John, glad you could make it. He says, just got through watching the Falcons press conference. I'll watch that tomorrow when I get up. I'm going to get some work done. And and I'll post some of the highlights of that clip on the channels tomorrow. And the defense has competed in every game. They still haven't given up over 300 yards. I think this was the most they gave up, 290, and 60 of it was the garbage time prevent on the last drive. They were at 237. The Falcons were at 237 before that last drive by the Bills. It ended with an INT. Holding the Bills to 14 points. We got after Allen. Have they updated the total stats? Let me see. Have they updated all of the stats for the NFL season leaders, team, and if I go to complete leaders on defense, they have not quite updated it yet. The Broncos are at 244 divided by 5. That means they'll probably go up. I'd have to figure out the math. They've got a 10-yard lead on the Broncos, and they gave up 290, which was about 10. They're going to be close, but 14 is going to have them rise up in points per game, which is more important. And they'll stay number one in passing defense after today. So good news. And again, it wasn't just holding them to 14 points. God, I could wax poetic about this game for days. We'll do it again on Wednesday. It wasn't that the Falcons just held them to 14 points. It was the Bills' first drive. They went through them like a hot knife through butter and didn't score again that half. Shut them down the rest of the half. They come out in the third quarter, first drive, zip, right down to the field, punch it in again. Easy peasy. And never scored again. Wow. I mean, this looked like it was going to be a 50, 60-point game after the first drives. Didn't score again. Phenomenal effort from Jeff Ulbrich and his defense and general manager Terry Fontenot to load it up with young players. And again, he has absolutely hit on his free agents on that side of the ball. From Jesse Bates to David Onyemata to Caden Ellis to Leonard Floyd, Divine Diablo, are you kidding me? Mike Hughes has done a job for a song. He is a cheap cornerback. He is. Terry Fontenot's hit on his free agents on that side of the ball without a doubt. And the Falcons faced some adversity and rose up and took the dub. That's not something this team has often done in its history. And God, it was fun to watch tonight. I am so happy y'all were here. I had a blast doing this. I feel like I'm coming off of a rock concert. Now I probably won't be able to wind down and go to sleep till 3 a.m. Worth it. It was totally worth it. I want to say thank you to my super chat superstars. Y'all killed it tonight, starting with Chad, Titus, Sam, Dwan, JM Huddle, Denver Luke, Greg Elrod, Prace coming in several times, Matt, Curtis Case, Mitch Angeloni. Thank you, Matt and Dirty Bird Star, for becoming members. Custom Kicks coming in a few times as well. Greg Elrod, Rio, Gary. There's Prace again. Michael Ronquillo, The Ronk, The Sunrise, and The Sunset. Terry coming in late and joining us. Rusty as well. Terry coming in a few times as well. Thanks to all of you. If you're not a member, become a member. Help support the show. Help support what we do. Help keep these lights on. Keep this forehead nice and shiny. Check out Falcons SI. We're going to have plenty of stuff for you to read tomorrow. I'll post some videos and stuff on the YouTube channel and Facebook pages tomorrow. We will be back. It'll just be me. So I need y'all here. I'll be back on Wednesday, and we'll break things down a little bit, take a look forward to San Francisco, look at some overview type of stuff, and hopefully have some injury information on Jake Matthews and the rest of the boys going from there. Thanks for being here, everybody. I hope y'all had as much fun as I did. Enjoy the rest of your evening. It's about bedtime. We'll see you on Wednesday.